What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 4 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Skarbrand the Exiled Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Skarbrand went on his first rampage, getting probably pretty upset at having to spend like 4 or 5 turns moving down the coastline, but then just rampaging through tons and tons of armies, I think like 8 armies in a row last episode, and tearing down a bunch of settlements as well, which is in fact going to continue at the start of this particular episode. Arkan, who, as we saw, started the campaign, was in the very early game with 4 armies, which I found very interesting, because we saw he had 4 full stacks at turn 16. At a conservative estimate, assuming that it takes him at least, let's say, 3 turns to recruit a full stack, that means that he had 4 full stacks as at turn 13 and perhaps earlier, so that feels like a lot to me. But anyway, I suppose all it did was help Skarbrand collect more skulls faster, so it's not like we can complain about it. Anyway, let's see what we gotta do before Skarbrand jumps into his fight. We got, Galbaraz is leveled. That's always nice. We need to have these post-battle loot things everywhere, though I do somewhat hesitate to put one into a sort of main settlement, eh? Oh wait, no, that's this thing that we wanted. What does this thing do? Oh, this is the growth building for the adjacency, which is fine. We want the other post-battle loot thing. This at tier 3 would give us the ability to build another one of these Blood Reapers, which is great, but right now not needed. This line... we probably do want the beast line everywhere. Actually, no, wait, this isn't the line that gives us research. It is... oh, let me just see here. I forget which one it is. It's this line. The Mortal Mounts gives us research. Okay, so that's the one that we need pretty much everywhere where we can get. So 1, 2, 3... takes up 3 slots. 1, 2, 3. 4th slot will be the Ancient Boneyard. 5th slot will be this building. Meaning we have 2 slots to play around with. One could be a defensive structure, but might not be necessary. What do we have here? Battle Road gives us upkeep reduction, construction time reduction, but no cost reduction, so it's not a big deal. This thing passively generates skulls, but in theory, with enough armies, it shouldn't be needed. So frankly, we're kind of free to build whatever it is we damn well please, including the public order building for when we fight a million enemies at the same time. Might even have room for a coordinate furnace in the main settlement rather than going for a minor settlement with it. Alright, I'll take it. Anyway, here we will want to then start with the trophy racks for the post-battle loot. It's not like we're generating a lot of money out of our settlements right now. 75, 40, and 32. This trophy racks actually has to be deleted, so I guess we'll delete it right now, because we'll replace it with the iron plus a defensive structure at Gorgazan, at least temporarily within the barrier idols. Alright, that's decided. Skarby, you've unlocked Skyla and Fengrim, and I guess we will want to, well, considering how damaged we are, just straight up attack the enemy. Plus there's some Ushabti and stuff to slay. Fair enough. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Our army may not have Vanguard deployment, and even Skarbrand, Skarbrand rather has it, and even though he's slower than the Flying Khorne's Bloody Fist, the Fist does not have Vanguard, and Skarbrand does, so he actually closes that distance with the poor Casket of Souls very quickly, which pretty much immediately loses half of its HP. Skarbrand will also bring with him his heroes, including Skyla and Fengrim, who's obviously not staying in this army, but will level up in here until we have an army to have Gorbeasts and Gorbeast chariots. Frankly, I might put Gorby's chariots in several armies because I just love the unit so much, but anyway. Yeah, so Skyla's going to force a few of the enemies into Rampage, and while our single entities are distracting the enemy force, our doggos are moving on in. The 4 of them, not the Hounds of the Blood Hunt, but the 4 regular ones, will smash into 2 units of the Hekhara Horsemen on the left flank, as these guys get pinned by a unit of summoned Bloodletters, and now have nowhere to run as they get torn to shreds. The bloodletters are no longer needed there, as more bloodletters are making their way forward. The Bloodwake Berserker, no, the Brutes of the Hound move forward as well and activate their sacrifice ability. Together with the Horn of Khorne, giving pretty much everybody over 100 melee attack. And allowing them to tear through those poor skeleton warriors and Ushabti and really pretty much everything here. Speaking of Ushabti, Skarbrand has killed off the enemy lord following that Casket of Souls and is now casting down an Ushabti with every blow. Or in that particular case, a poor little skeleton warrior that broke apart into little bone splinters as he got slammed into the ground. And yeah, now that, well, while Skyla is here temporarily, we actually have several sources of forced rampage on the enemy army. As Skarbrand can activate his forced rampage, and then when that's done, we can activate Skyla's, and then possibly activate Skarbrand's again. I don't remember what the cooldowns are, but pretty solid. And there we go, with that, the skeletons are rather quickly wiped out, and this quick little battle is ours, but considering our army's at half HP, I really wanted to make sure that we didn't take additional damage, as we'll want to immediately push on towards Vulture Mountain. Alright, there we go. Quick little fight, relatively minor losses as well, primarily to Shabti and some of the Nehekaran horsemen, though the Nehekaran horsemen's kills were also directed towards the summoned bloodletters, so that number is obviously inflated because one of them has 19 and we only lost 18 units total. Anyway, we did well on, well, it looks like one of these bloodletters had 128 kills, so they massively outdamaged everybody. I'm not entirely sure how you did this well, but I imagine these guys kind of led the charge by virtue of being healed up from being merged previously, whereas these guys sort of brought up the rear, which explains why these guys got more kills. Makes sense to me. And Skarbrand, his kills may be low, but his damage dealt, his gold value is super high, as first he killed off the casket, and then the king, and then moved to kill off a bunch of Ushabti. Lovely. Here, oh wow. I would love to sack this for 5k, but then we'd have to waste the turn, and I'd hate to do that, so I guess we're gonna take the skulls again, and some money, and no replenishment. Now, oh, why did you move this way, Skarbrand? Wow, I was expecting him to move this way instead. That kind of screws us over, don't it? Oh well, what can you do? Should have just occupied it then. Well, we were never gonna anyway, but I say. Anyway, you're gonna go into a rating here, which will allow us to heal and actually get a decent chunk of change for our trouble. We'll need to use a bunch of skulls on these two anyway. Now, who else still needs to move? So this Crimson Fiend's Blood Host is admittedly of little use. Grawl, you actually need to move towards Skarby as fast as you can go. The reason being that Grawl here will be the lord that will probably take command of all of the bloodletters. And especially since, wait, actually, just to double check, you have the demon reduction, yes? Yes, Khorne demon units, meaning we can give you all the bloodletters once they leave Skarbrand's army, so that makes sense. Actually, speaking of, let's just quick check lords. We have a Mauler Herald of Khorne, which funnily enough is upkeep reduction for Chaos Warriors. Huh. Not necessarily a bad thing, because we could use demonic units in combination with these guys. Might still be worth taking. And then what do we have here? Seeker of Battle. Ah, we got upkeep reduction for Khorne demon units on the Blood Speaker. I'm tempted to just recruit these and then delete them instantly. Or we could, have them follow, but a lot of these guys on field, and it's getting kind of crazy. Wait, are any of these... Okay, well, let me just see here. Seeker of Battle. This guy might disappear. So I guess we could get you on field right now. And delete the other... Well, let's just get you on field right now and then we'll see. Like so. I figure we need to level these guys as much as we can so that it's faster to essentially split them off into their own thing, but we'll see. Anyway, training for you, Blood Reaper, we have increased mobility now maxed out, but we still want to max out spoils because obviously Skarby is and doing a lot of fighting. The raiding thing would actually be fairly decently helpful for the time that we raid, so I may go for that as well. And then Skarby, I guess we could go through Wrathful Reaper, but only after Thick Skin. Again, missile fire is your biggest vulnerability right now. Alright, looks like an end turn to me. And while the turn is ending, a couple of things. Last episode I left you guys with a vote, which is obviously still ongoing, at least for one more day, but by the looks of it, sort of... is this going to be war? No, non-aggression. So far, the vote is significantly edging towards the sort of limited allies being the winner. Not full diplomacy, so as much war as possible, but keeping things like Beastmen and Chaos and Norska essentially loreful allies that would be working with Khorne. Especially the Chaos Dwarfs and Norskans, of course. Chaos Dwarfs being the ones to provide a lot of the armaments for Chaos, including Khorne, and the Norskans being providing the bodies. What do we have here?
Brokered an alliance with your brothers. They lie in wait as the enemy approach the brazen altar. All it requires is your attendance.
Ah, yes, alright, so we have the quest unlocked to do the Slaughter and Carnage battle, and doing a little bit of Khorne on Khorne action, just the way we likes it. But we can steal a soul grinder from the enemy. I've actually never done this quest battle. At the very least, or if I did it right on the release of the game, so it's been so long that I just no longer remember it. The point being that I don't know what the reinforcements are. And the enemy will be all magical damage dealing, which is also something to consider. But anyway, we'll probably nonetheless do it soon. Skarby, are you not? Oh, for a second I thought he was unable to switch his stance. Huh, we can reach the Wizard Caliph's Palace from here. I wonder... Wait, go close to... Oh, I was gonna say, if we could send this guy in, but you don't have Siege Attacker, so we have to use Skarby for this anyway. Alright, well, I'll give it a try, Skarby. Here's what we'll do. We can auto-resolve this because we are now at full HP, and we fought a lot of these little fights. And you will move it. Oh, you wouldn't be able to occupy it anyway. I was gonna say sack it maybe with you, but no dice. Alright, fair enough. You can just leech XP then. And we'll occupy it with Skarby, and then we'll move back around to Wizard Caliph's Palace, which will actually be a proper fight by the looks of it. Spokal Stalkers, some solid defenders there. Alright, fair enough. Alright, we'll auto-resolve this. I'm sure we'll take some damage. Decent amounts of damage, and we will occupy, using up some of our Skullage. Alright, and we will... it's gonna take 2 turns now to reach the Wizard Caliph's Palace. It's just gonna fuel Skarbrand's rage. We'll immediately switch to the Soul Keep here as well, as build the... I guess the Trophy Racks. We could actually start off with a War Amphitheater for growth as well as the adjacency bonus, though I don't know if this will count because it's kind of across the mountain, but anyway. These guys are no longer of real use to us, but what I would like to do, or for them to do... So these guys don't like us by virtue of being at war with Sartosa, and frankly, I don't really want Sartosa coming down to kill them, so we'll probably grab this for ourselves. The trade tariffs are unfortunately useless to us, and it is still a yellow territory. Oh, and because it's a province capital, we'd have to use skulls on it, but whatever. Just grab the buried caravanserai. At least we'll get the immunity to desert attrition, as there will be some desert fighting to still be doing. I would like the Crimson Fiends to move this way. I just want to see what's going on out here. And where are you going? Are you going to try to grab one of the ruins, or are you going to move northward to Sartosa? Alright, I see Pashedu. Who will probably actually take advantage of the fact that the Crimson Fiends are in march stance and move towards us. At least I wouldn't be surprised. So you guys, I'll need to sort of stay together, but stay out of range of the Khemri faction. Just get ready to meet up. The Fear Crushers, is there a island that's nearby that we could send you to? So one of the really good uses of the Blood Host that I found in the Skull Taker campaign was to pick up a few extra islands. Unfortunately, by the looks of it currently, there isn't one nearby. I could just check out what's going on out here. A little bit of extra cash and, you know, a single materials at sea would make it tremendously worth it. Granted, this would also identify Scry or another factions, but whatever, it is what it is. If we get into a fight with them, well, then we just get into a fight with them. Alright, you guys all move this way. I'm gonna have to switch you all to channeling soon as well. And then, of course, a Rager is going to be getting his own army relatively soon, as soon as we build up what we need here. So... we are waiting for what? Oh, we are waiting for this to complete in order to get Reaper of the Ages, or Reaper of Ages. In fact, let's do that right now. So 5 turns, and then we'll be able to get an extra unit. Oh, wait, this is going to take 3 turns, not 5 turns. Meaning we can immediately do the switch to the Infernal Citadel. This will disappear, but then we can replace it with the building that we would get the military out of. As in the mortal military. Infantry, whatever. Thus we need the Cultist Enclave of Iron built up to get ready for it. Then Galbaraz, yeah, let's get the Trophy Chamber. Can't have too many Trophy Chambers. And Malagor, where are you going? And what are you doing? We can't click on you because you're in ambush, but you're our vassal. We should know where you are and be able to click on you. You are moving to... Huh. I wonder if he's going to go towards the Awakened. Interesting. I'm not willing to peace out or anything, so we'll probably have to send an army around that way. Pirates of Sartosa really want peace. Or various pacts. I'm going to ignore them for now, though. I don't know if that works with our sort of limited... limited stuff. Anyway, skip, or limited alliances. Assuming that's the way the vote ends up finally going. Let's end the turn. Also, while this particular turn is ending, I haven't done a double episode yet for this particular campaign, and I am certainly willing to do one. Let's say maybe on Monday, or tomorrow, or maybe on Tuesday, depending. I'm gonna say if this particular episode gets, let's say, 350 likes and 60 comments, we'll do a double episode on either Monday or Tuesday, depending. Or if it's on Tuesday, then it'll have to be a 2-episode streak of the engagement. But anyway, you know the drill by now, I'm sure. So yeah, do keep that in mind if you want to see that double episode. Oh, for the love of frickin' dangerous wins, the worst possible frickin' research rate reduction. I don't really care about the miscast base chance, but this cost us essentially a turn on this. Especially since our faction can't steal tech. So this is still 3 turns, though. So we will still be able to go for the Infernal Citadel. Like so. And switch it up. You, go for the Cultist Enclave. Get that iron going. Then Skarby, yeah, you're not able to reach the Wizard Caliph's Palace, alas, so you're gonna have to raid for the turn. Like so. At least we'll get some money out of it. And oh, wow, I did not realize you were this badly damaged. You can go right here. I'm going to assume that... Huh. Skarbrand's in range, right? Yeah, he is. Okay, I thought I was going to get you killed, little fella. Actually, speaking of, you have Inspiring Presence. I guess to start, we will maybe want to get you Call to Bloodletting, since it's probably something that we want to get on everybody. Also, Skyline Anfingrim leveled again, but I think we're going to wait for rank 10 to also get more post-battle loot extra. Plus, he does have his unique line at rank 12, and that's a lot of points to fill up. Southern Badlands, you're up next. Okay, we have the Salted Gronti Mingle, and I guess we will want to grab it. Yeah, why not? We'll need the defenses here because presumably these guys will inevitably attack us. Hopefully they just start fighting with Sartosans. Huh. Yeah, in fact, we could maybe force the two to fight each other. Although, once again, these guys have a lot of trade goods here. It's a lot of stuff that we could put to use for ourselves. Construction cost minus 30% for all buildings would counteract the fact that this is a yellow territory as well. So, probably some ogre fighting in our future. Ooh, growth for all provinces as well. What does dyes do for us? Khorne needs red dyes. I think we can all accept that. Oh, only 10% leadership? Oh, this is terrible. I guess there is the recruitment cost reduction, but otherwise, disappointing. And this gives us her hero recruit rank, but does not give us hero recruit rank, hero recruit capacity. I think there is another set of iron here. Wait, there's iron rock, right? Not Velesar, iron rock somewhere? Yeah. This should have more iron, and we need to pick up every iron and gold mine that we can get. I guess we're like dwarfs in that way. Ah, looks like the ogre army disappeared, eh? Alright, you go here and raid the ogres, while at the same time keeping an eye on Gamry. You guys go this way. You need to sort of join Skarbrand until you're ready to get your own armies. So, like so, and like so. Oh, let's do another lord check real quick. Oh, we might as well repair these now.
lies oblivion.
Actually, it's not even worth it because this place is so damaged that pure hatred, singe, don't care. Mauler once again remains nice, but yeah, probably. Corpse collector and violent killer. All right, let's get the Mauler. But this one, I'm going to say disband for now. We'll bring it back later, buddy. The Fear Crushers. Why don't you crush some islands if you can find it? How are there no islands whatsoever anywhere here? Wow. This is very bad luck so far. Go figure. Alright, well, keep going around until you find some. You're gonna start suffering attrition in 3 turns? Yeah. Like crazy, or should there be at least some islands somewhere? Oh, there's one all the way out there, but it's a mysterious island and thusly the least worthwhile one. Alright, fair enough. Skull Throne. I want to grab Dissipation's Domain so everything can start occupying itself, essentially. And then the rest of this is not useful to us. Yeah, alright. Hopefully all of this picks itself up. Khornate corruption is rising as well. We just need to counteract all of the vampiric corruption. Maybe cornify this place. Maybe I should put all these characters here. In fact, just out of curiosity, do they provide any base level of Khornate corruption? Maybe they don't. We have Hate Slaanesh. Well, if they don't, whatever. I figured at least there would be a +1. Oh, also Outpost. We need to upgrade you to get access to global recruitment, so we will upgrade you right now, even though you are shockingly expensive. Alright, end the turn, and we will have a proper fight against Sunacht at the Wizard Caliph's Palace. I wonder if he'll be replaced by Arcan now. It's been, what, 3 turns? Wait, 3 or 4 turns? He certainly came back quickly, didn't he? No military access, much as I'd like for us to get that money. Is it me or... well, I was about to say, is it me or do AI characters seem to come back faster from being wounded? As opposed to like the 8 turns that all of our characters take, but this being Arcan, he might have a thing that allows him to come back quicker, so I'm not entirely sure. What do we have here? Coast of Araby secured. Good. Coast of Araby secured. Oh! Both of these are very nice. We will immediately go into control to counteract the negative control. Al-Haik, you will need to switch to Dark Bastion. Not the demonic thing. And then I guess both of you will start as Dark Bastions. I might switch one of you to demonic later, but for now. This thing is going to have the special port plus spices and not really room for much of anything. That is what it is. Alright, let's do that. And we got the Hellforged Host Exalted Bloodkeepers. Isn't that nice? Virus and Kofar and Martek. Ooh, Iron. Drawn to Destruction. Beautiful. You can go Mortal as well. Like, so, whoa, what was that mission for 4,000 skulls? Sack or raise 6 Kislev Cathay or Empire settlements. That will be a while yet. Aha! What is this? Oh! That's Vampire Coast. They're sailing towards us. Oh, interesting. Huh. Well, it's useful that you're showing this to us. Okay, so Arcan the Black is a mission. Henry Brown is here, and Luther Harkin is also out at sea. Huh. It looks like they're sending all their armies to us. Fascinating. Minus the annoyance of if they land here, we won't be able to... Well, we'll deal with it. Anyway, let's take the mission for Arcan the Black for now, because he's right there and we're about to fight him. Let's level up Skarby and let's head on in. What do we want out of this? We could get 1 level in Brass Collar. You know what? Last time you actually took a fair bit of damage from Arcan spamming Spirit Leech at you, so you might as well. Alright, and it's time to move. Go to Wizard Caliph's Palace, please. Like so. Yeah, valiant defeat. That's what I like to see. And you, little fella, are going to leech XP. Would have been nice if these guys could leech XP, but I don't trust the ogres not to, attack them. Well, we have to move anyway. What's the likelihood that the ogres attack us here? We have to get away from Pashedu. Alright, well, I think we have no choice in the matter. You guys are gonna have to do this. Go all together, and I guess we'll keep the Crimson Fiends with ya. Frankly, if you get attacked, I don't think you'll survive. But at the same time, there are 4 of you here. It's a lot of heroes together. Oh, you're actually out of range anyway. Alright, I would like you then to... move this way. This way they'd have to choose between these guys and these guys. Let's do that. Can you guys summon your... I was hoping that we could do the... we could grab the Regiment of Renown, but we can only do so in our own territory. Fair enough. Skarby, kill. Alright, Pyrrhic Victory now. Huh, really? The only thing that changed is the addition of this guy with half HP, and now it's a Pyrrhic Victory. Surprising. Go. Alright guys, a little bit of bad news here. Unfortunately, it looks like this particular battle suffered a desync, and a severe enough one that we're just going to have to fight this manually. But I know some of you enjoy the manual fights on occasion, so that'll be just fine. And if you get an occasional desync, the best place to get them are in these siege battles. Let's put you here. For the obvious reason that the siege battles, well, they don't require all that much control, especially when you're using coordinate force, so we should be just fine. Anyway, let's do this. Then I believe that's everybody. Alright, should be quick. You go after the gate, you go after... Oh, I can't deploy here. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, fair enough. You guys go here or reposition on this side then. Skarby, move. Bloodletter summon... Go. Alrighty. Now, we have to move you forward. We have to make you go towards the gate, and you go after those summons. You go after the deck gunners, please. Skarby, you have summons as well. Oh, let's also force them into rampage to prevent them from attacking. Might as well get it on cooldown as well. You can go after that Tomb Prince, and you can move on in to buff everybody. You can start moving towards the gate, and everybody else is good. Once these guys have abandoned this position, we'll send the dogs after it. Also, Skylight, you're going to be needed here, buddy, so let's move you on in. Oh, Skarbrand has moved through, which means you attack the gatehouse. Khorne's Bloody Fist is still good up there. Did I use the summoning of Skarbrand's second set of units? Not yet. Do we need it right now? I guess we could wait. Okay, now the main thing to actually watch the battle is we need to actually bring that gate down. Alright, Skylight looks like it's on you, because the sort of animations of the Blood Reaper carry it forward. You guys move forward. I'm going to say minus you two. Going to go this way. In preparation for breaking through this gate. In fact, let's send the Hounds of Bloodhunt here and get ready to start whacking away at that. And maybe even move you two up to help them out. Alright, how are we doing otherwise? Khorne's Bloody Fist still fighting or attempting to fight that Tomb Prince. You know what? Frankly, these guys are a distraction, so let's move them down here instead. Skarby, I would like you to go after these Crypt Hulks because they're interfering with our ability to make our way through the gate. We'll get there eventually, but, you know. Let's activate Crimson Juggernaut for you and move you in. Let's also... Ooh. You know what? I think maybe it is time to summon Skarbrand's other units. In the blob, like so, and then we'll activate the Horn of Khorne as soon as we're done. We'll save the last one for the enemy artillery piece. And there we go. Buff everybody up and double up on the buff. Get it all on cooldown. Lovely. And, oh wow, you guys are actually starting to take damage. Oh, you're taking Spokal Stalker hits. Yeah, fair enough. Alright, Skyla, activate the rampagification of everybody out here. There you go, more rampage, and artillery piece is too far to be of concern. Skarby, I think you're gonna have to use your mass to push through everybody and go after those Spokal Stalkers. Frankly, Khorne's Bloody Fist, I'd like the same of you. You guys head down the wall now since the Tomb Prince is dead. Alright, I admit this is requiring a little bit more control than I was expecting, but, you know, it is what it is. How are we doing out here, by the way? And, okay, it's gonna take a while to work through that gate, but that's okay. We fully expected that. Nobody is significantly damaged now. Our reinforcing a new Herald of Khorne has arrived. You guys move up, you guys get ready to go through the gate once it's been torn to shreds or torn down. In fact, you guys all can attempt to target it. Khorne's Bloody Fist and Co. have closed with the Sepulchral Stalkers as needed. The enemy artillery has arrived, foolishly, unprotected by any other units. So we will summon the Bloodletters on top of them. Now, I used to feel bad about doing this, but the AI does the exact same thing with its summons whenever it has summons, so I no longer really feel bad about it. Alright, how you doing? Debuff everybody? How's that gate looking? I'm working on it still. I'm getting there. Nearly destroyed. And I believe the enemy had 2 units of Spokal Stalker, so there will be another one that we'll need to deal with. Oh wow, Arcan has personally moved to try to help the Screaming Skull catapults, but a little bit late there, buddy. A little bit late. Ain't gonna help you all that much. Alright, you guys, return to help against the Crypt Hulks, since these Spokal Stalkers are dead and they were the critical unit. How's that gate looking? 1200 HP. Couple more hits and it'll be good. Nobody is significantly damaged. Gate is in pretty bad shape. We'll be able to move on in shortly as well. And there we go. With that, the gate is down and everybody is able to move on in, including the blood ladders. Again, I don't use the butt ladders anymore, so we will not be just going up the walls. Though admittedly, taking walls by storm is still entertaining, so if I get bored, I might. I think we're going to save Skarbrand's ability, though, the Rage Incarnate, either for when Arcan moves on in, or possibly for... Oh, those Crypt Hulks are still alive? Oh, good for them. Or possibly... How do you target those? Possibly for when... You, I would actually like to back off and stop losing units.
Get moving! Move now!
I like so. Oh, you know what? Activate your sacrifice ability while this is up, buffing everybody's damage, but at the same time... Ooh, is that Ushapti's summon? Yes, indeed it is. Skarbrand, retarget. What was I saying? Oh, buffing everybody up but not losing models just by virtue of the fact that we will be unable to lose models. It's a nice couple of abilities to use together, I think. How's that? Oh, like the gate is done. We're just trying to break through what remains here. Minus you, who doesn't need to. Alright, get another Horn of Khorne going. Who shopped here in a bad way, though admittedly the Khorne's Bloody Fist has taken damage. But also admittedly, it does have Gore Feast, so it should be fine. Alright, ooh, minus if it continues getting hit by enemy range units. There are those Spokal Stalkers. Not here yet? And Arcan is still waiting over there? Alright, well, that's fine by me, I suppose. You, back off, and everybody stream on in. Admittedly, it does make sieges a lot more difficult, especially in SFO when you don't use the butt ladders, because obviously you can't just, you know, overwhelm the walls at a moment's notice. And especially because that's, the towers are a lot stronger in vanilla, or in SFO than they are in vanilla. Damn it, I keep accidentally sending in the Berserkers. And they're Berserkers, they really want to fight. The little couple of 2 units blocking the gate is kind of infuriating, but just everybody move forward, please. Oh, they're rampaging because of the Curse of Joff now, because the Tomb Prince was sufficiently damaged. Fair enough. Fair enough. They won't be sufficiently damaged in short order. How much longer on that Curse of Joff? We got 10 seconds. Alright, we're just gonna have to wait. Skarbrand is not rampaging, though, and you're gonna move forward. Skyla, I'd like you to move towards those Ushapti. Got more range units firing away at him, and now Skarbrand's getting hit by the Spirit Leech. Hey. Ushapti, you're gonna block him off. Hurt those units. And everybody else, just charge on through. Everybody. Rampage should be done now. Good. Everybody in. Flesh Hounds, are we through on this side? We are, but admittedly, you're frankly probably going to be able to close here anyway. Alright, everybody kill the Ushapti. Skarbrand, get ready to move towards Arcan. And ooh, hello, there's a Tomb Scorpion. No, target the Tomb Scorpion first. It's more disruptive to our formation, A, and B, we can always send Skyla to move forward towards the enemy lord. Let's activate the buff on everybody. There we go. And just like many a Tomb King Lord in previous battles, the Tomb Scorpion will be double-teamed by Skarbrand and Khorne's Bloody Fist. And we'll get torn to shreds in short order. Down to 25% or so of its HP already. The blob has made its way forward. Charge up here. I really wanted to make sure Skylanth and Grim made his way. You know what? Let's force Arcan into the rampage, whatever. Alright, and then Skyla is there as well. Probably should have activated Crimson Juggernaut earlier. And there we are. Alright, target the Tomb Scorpion, and everybody fight for a little bit. And just without controlling. Alright, Skyla, try to make your way to actually fighting Arcan, who is attempting to escape ya. Ooh, I do like the glow of the Herald of Khorne's Hellblade lighting everything up. And I guess the occasional attack from Skyla. He seems to light up when he attacks, but otherwise is not as lit up. Anyway, dogs have made their way forward now. And, okay, yeah, these guys are all kind of blobbed up, but, you know, we were kind of expecting that. Just everybody wants to move on in. And on this side, is there anybody to fight? Ah, yes, there is a single unit of Nehekar warriors there, so get ready to move after them. Alright, you guys. Team Scorpion is out. Everybody kill Mr. Arcan. Any activation we want here. I guess we could kill for Khorne, force him into Rampage. And do we not have, yes, Fight or Die and Rock of Inevitability. There we go. Arcan is done. Dogs reposition and go after the skeleton archers, and I do believe the battle is pretty much ours. I'm going to speed up our way through the rest of that. And oh, look at that, these guys actually took a little bit of damage, but again, it doesn't really matter because already did the fight. And the replay, or desync rather, is forcing me to redo it, so obviously not taking it super seriously. And the last units on field will actually be not one of Arcan's, but one of his borrowed allies, I presume from the Awaken. But they'll sleep with the fishes, so... Not much to say, just running out the clock against these very last units. Until they melt away, which they are done doing. There we go. With that, the battle is... Oh, hey, there was another one of these units. I was wondering where they were, but here they are. Let's debuff them with whatever we can. And still destroy them, of course. And these ones we can actually watch, because they are constructs after all, though I expect with all the buffs and debuffs, and they're going to fall very, very quickly, since we have stacked them on top of each other, rather than, you know, using them apart. And what, 5 Necroserpents remain? 4, 3, 2, and 1, and 0. There we go. Close victory, apparently, but no big deal. And with that, the followers of Nagash are destroyed. Alrighty, there we go. Arcan did manage to do about 4,000 damage to Skarbrand and the Khorne's Bloody Fist by virtue of that Spirit Lage spam, but overall was not enough to bring any of them down. Our single entities were obviously the ones that were acting as the battering rams, and thusly took the most damage here by a pretty large margin, though the Bleeding Hearts here, A, they did a solid 11k damage, but B, took a bit of damage with the Ushabti being summoned on top of them. Solid work with 18k out of Blut und Eisen as well. 52k and 6.3k damage on Skarby. Skyla's debut gives him 36,000 damage, and 30,000 damage on our Blood Reaper. Lovely. That Blood Shrine or Blood Throne really working for him. Anyway, we will occupy this place, much as I'd love to retain the movement and take all of these skulls and such. I mean, we could, in theory, still sack it. Wait, it was at tier 3, meaning no matter what, it would go down to tier 2. If we were to sack it, we would have to take some time for the growth to recover, but at the same time, this being a yellow territory, it'd take a while. On the other hand, we don't really care so much about the growth of the yellow territory, do we? And we're probably free to keep it at relatively low level. Meaning maybe we do sack it. We do want to do some recruiting and stuff after all. Yeah, fine, sack it. Sack it. If it was a tier 3, we can capture it at a tier 1 instead. There's another Fleshhound Handler, another Cornate Mutant. Do you have one? I already gave you a Cornate Mutant. I gave you a Cornate Mutant. Everybody has a Cornate Mutant. Alright, I'll try to remember to give that to somebody. You can then occupy the place for skulls. Occupy. And Skarby will have recovered some of his movement range, meaning he can, I would, you know, I'm gonna risk it, go here and raid. To recover HP. And, oh, wait. 703, yeah, honestly not a lot. But nah, your mana is fine and all that. Anyway, you will now go for... You have Brass Collar. Although the magics are no longer that much of a threat, at least not to the degree they once were. Let's at least get Wrathful Reaper. I do like that Overwhelm. Actually could have helped in this particular situation. You, Skyla, can get another point in training, and you, little fella, are going to get that income from post-battle loot. Lovely. Alright, our skulls are down to 6767. Fair enough. And Wizard Caliph's Palace, we will need to most likely actually start with the control, because with so much of the Vampiric Corruption still here, and the fact is probably going to take a while to drop, we probably have no choice in the matter. Also, we'll need to switch you to Mortal as well. And really, we'll probably only need one Demonic Dimensional Cascade. Unless I'm mistaken. I'll also have to keep an eye on these guys. Alright, let's do some building. Southern Badlands. We will upgrade the Salt. We will keep upgrading these lovely war arenas. And these also lovely trophy racks. Like so. Barrier Idols. This is the War Crucible. Yeah, just do it. At least for now. And then we're building up the Cultist Outpost of Iron. We will want to defend it. It is pretty critical, so we'll start building up the fortifications. Once again, Khemri will inevitably declare war on us. They're currently fighting nobody, so it's, frankly, I'm surprised they haven't done it already. And a very solid likelihood that they attack Al-Haik next turn. Which is a little bit annoying because we have started to invest in it. You know what? I'm going to say unupgrade Al-Haik because I no longer trust it. I mean, I guess we could do the side grade, but we need Pashetu out of there first. How many territories do you have, incidentally? You have Strength Rank 9, you have 10 settlements, and probably more armies than Arcan had, so a lot to be concerned about. Alright, so we'll leave Al-Haik uninvested in for now. Skip, and then the turn. We'll take out Maramuntra the Sand Grinder. And, oh right, I forgot about the little blood host, my bad. But frankly, they have not managed to pick up any islands, and that has been disappointing. At the very least, by virtue of the fact that there seem to be no islands in their general vicinity. It might be that the Sartosans just picked them all up. The AI gets to cheat. It doesn't need to actually expend troops or take damage taking an island, so the AI could send one lord to pick up a Skull Island and apparently win, because they don't take damage. Which I find kind of annoying, but whatever. And let's see, ooh, free Brass Cleaver? Yes, please. Khorne should be all up in getting those Brass Cleavers. Alright, War Leaders now researching Reaper of Ages, Eye of the Panther, Drawn to Destruction, Talisman of Preservation, yes. And aha, there we go. Hand of Vengeance answers the Master's call. To carry out the Lord of Murder's bidding is to sate his endless appetite for violence. You can't sate the endless appetite. And now is the time to unleash his raw, unreasoning vengeance onto the mortal plane for your blood-soaked cause. Karanak, the three-headed hound, is a vicious and implacable demon, endlessly prowling his master's throne room when not carrying out his murderous bidding. In fact, Khorne considers very few of his champions worthy of summoning Karanak. Unquestionably, any paragon of violence and destruction in this existence has much to gain should the chosen hunter of Khorne be weaponized for their own ends. As is the blood god's way, bloodshed shall beget bloodshed. To summon his prized hound, Khorne's gaze must be turned. So we have to build a trophy hall. Oh, we'll need a tier 4 structure. Oh, well, it's gonna take a bit. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, I'm willing to bet it'll be a bit until we get the tier 4. Cultist Enclave, Iron, please. And, they took Xandri. They got the entire province now. Good for them, I suppose. Not so good for the ogres. Ew. If you sack the Great Desert of Araby, which is a tier... I can't even see what tier it is. Because this is blocking it. Really? Really, game? This is how you're gonna make your UI? Is there any way to actually see the tier? I think there is. Okay, well, we'll have somebody else occupy it. I guess you will at least solve... actually, if Garby can march stance, we could probably reach Great Desert of Araby camp. Alright, in that light, Garby, I would like you to directly attack the Great Desert of Araby here. Wait, are you at war with anybody other than Sartosan? No, unfortunately. Go here. Declare war. Yeah, sure. Harbinger of disaster. Like so. Then encircle. We'll be fighting this in a moment. Haven't gotten any nice ogre skulls for ourselves yet, and it's about damn time. Oh, of course, the island appears here once we're away. Alright, you go this way. Huh, I wonder why you're here. Gathering islands, perhaps? Where is that, No islands here either. I guess we could go back around to grab this. I thought there's a decent likelihood that this guy takes it from us. We shall see. Anyway, you guys, I want you all to leech XP, so go here. I maybe shouldn't have kept you in march stance, but too late. Here. And wait. You are rank 5, you are rank 6. Okay, so you are our new lord, so you go here. You are not in range, so you're gonna go here. Like so. Then I would like to go to diplomacy, and I would like to see where those vampire coasties are. Alright, so you're drawing close. So Luther Harkin is out here. By the looks of it, he might go to Wizard Callus Palace, so we'll want to loop back around towards his main stack. And I see the other army is gone. Is it because they're dead? Huh. I don't see the Harbinger of Disaster main stack, so they might have found them at sea and killed them, in theory. In practice, I'm not entirely sure. Oh, wow. Sartosa's starting to dislike us because of the alliance with the Harbinger of Disaster, but you know what? That's not unsurprising. Also, we got the outpost. Out of curiosity, do we have anybody who can... Nah, I wanted to see whether we have access to any of their units as yet. Anyway, build Immortal building. Let's do the building to separate the building and the fighting. Not that there's a lot of building to be doing anyway. Trophy chamber. In theory, these are needed everywhere. At least until we no longer need money. And Al-Haik, I'd love to invest in you, but we can't do it yet. Alright. The Gold Throne. Let's see what we have here. Turns until available 3. Turns until available 6. Why is this one grayed out and these ones are not? Does anybody know? Because I don't understand. We've used this before and we've used these before. Whatever. Alright, fair enough. Guess we're going in then, yes? Garby, kill. Kill again. Wait, is this a field battle? Yes, good.
This is what we live for. This is Khorne. Come on.
Alrighty, here we go. Let's fight some ogres. Probably going to be a while before we get the opportunity to fight them again. And admittedly, I would have maybe liked a few ogre units in a few armies. But at the end of the day, this particular ogre faction absolutely despises us. So the limited alliance would not have worked with them anyway. Anyway, Skarbrand's going to have to weather the storm of the lead belchers firing away at him until he can close the distance enough to activate his rage embodied and enforce them all, including the lead belchers, into rampage. And thus the battle begins as Skarbrand works on the lead belchers and the paymaster, and his other single entities move to reinforce. Of course, we got other units moving to reinforce as well. But the bloodletters are going to take a little bit longer to get here. The paymaster is down to 30% of his HP already, and the rest of our single entities, Khorne's Bloody Fist, our Blood Reaper, and Skyla Anfingrim have closed, and our doggos are now moving on in, with the Hounds of the Blood Hunt and the rest of the Flesh Hounds charging into piles of little nobbler trappers, and sending many of them flying just as the bloodletters arrive from the other side. Fantastic. Now, if you're wondering where the Chaos Warriors of Khorne are, they are waiting patiently as they are too slow to reposition quickly like the Bloodletters can, and therefore we're going to let the Bloodletters and the Fleshhounds do the work here, while these guys perhaps hold back the tide of the enemy main stack, which is coming in as a reinforcement. I mean, that's what we've used those two units of Chaos Warriors for many a time. They've been instrumental in various victories by holding back the tide of enemies, and I'm sure they can do so again if needed. Though, by the looks of it, this little garrison force is getting overrun extremely rapidly, And I fear that the AI's reinforcements will not be here fast enough to be able to reinforce them. But hey, I've been surprised before. We'll see. And there we go. With that, I believe the first of the enemy armies is shattered, and the reinforcements should now be arriving on the battlefield. And we are roughly equidistant from the sort of center of the map where Bluten Dyson and the Bleeding Hearts and our Brutes of the Hound await the arrival of the enemy. Skarby will chase down the Firebelly. We'll chase down the turn. Skarby, thank you. We'll chase down the Firebelly. Can't have the little fella casting, but he does manage to get a Cascading Fire Cloak, so that should keep him on field a little bit longer. But not that much longer, I'd wager. Also, for a lot of factions, ogres are such an issue in terms of actually chasing them down, because obviously all the ogres move really fast, but fortunately, with all the flesh hounds we have and the fact that Skarbrand moves really fast, it's of no concern. And eventually, if we can get a Banner of Swiftness for Skarbrand, that'll also be nice. Anyway, how are we doing? Looks like the reinforcements are here. The Firebelly has shattered, and now we're just getting into position for the arrival of the enemy. Looks like these Saber Tusks will be the first to move on in. Plus some ogres, which are probably going to take advantage of that ogre charge of theirs. And the charge does take about 25% HP off the units of Bloodletters, but Skarbrand will close the distance and start attacking those ogres. And just as they do, the Saber Tusks will attempt to pull off the same thing, but don't quite do nearly as much damage on the charge. It looks like we didn't need to use the Chaos Warriors of Khorne to defend against the blobs, so we're going to send them in towards the enemy directly. Enemy's going to pop off a quick little spell, but only slightly clip our Bloodletters. I'm not entirely sure what the point of that was. But good for them for attempting something at least. Skarbrand will continue fighting regular ogres, but will use the anti-large of the Khorne's Bloody Fist to go after the enemy lord this time. Skarbrand's already claimed the skull of the enemy Paymaster and defeated the enemy Firebelly. Will let the Khorne's Bloody Fist take care of the Slaughtermaster this time. And hopefully quick enough so that he cannot cast again. Ooh, yes, some of our Bloodletters certainly taking damage over on this side, but they do have the help of the several Bloodspeaker units and the Murderous Exhortations that they bring. Skarbrand has chased off an enemy unit of Saber Tusks and then will move to fighting whoever else he can. And we do have to keep in mind that we will want to chase enemy units down here, so it's not about just defeating the Ogre Bulls, which are admittedly fragile and relatively easy to destroy, at least in the hands of the AI. Obviously, in a player's hands, even basic Ogre Bulls are obnoxiously strong as long as you can abuse their mass and charge and Alrighty, how we doing? By the looks of the bounce power is at about 95% in our favor. The enemy's right flank has completely shattered at this point. Obviously, they had no hope of making their way to the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. And while we've taken a little bit of damage on a couple of our demonic units, it's probably not all that significant, and I'm willing to bet that a lot of it was also HP damage from ogre charges, and probably not a lot of actual model losses. Although obviously we'll see. And frankly, I'm surprised that these guys have not shattered yet, but we're working on it. Alrighty, and there we go. With that, I do believe the last of the... no, this Bruiser's still in the fight. Probably should send somebody after him. And we also have an unbreakable unit of Gorgers here. But it's okay, because Skarbrand can break them in body and in spirit as well. Alrighty, there we go. The last of the Gorgers should be falling in moments. And a 1, and... now we're actually chasing these guys down now. Somebody bring this fella down. A few bites from some of the flesh hounds. But like I said, it's pretty important that we chase the enemies down to make sure that they cannot There we go, that they cannot revive me, don't have to fight them again, and there we go with that. The unbreakable units are done for, and the ogres are done for as well. Since this is the only thing that they had, the only army that they had, they will be pretty much destroyed and chased down. Alright, there we go, 8.6k gold out of that, very solid. The skull amount isn't as great, but I suppose ogres are less numerous, therefore you're not going to collect quite as many skulls. Makes sense. Anyway, we did once again get 215 and 223. Alright, I think you two will get names now. You did very well. And especially against ogres, and some... oh, wow. 529? Oh yeah, but you probably hacked like 1,000,000 nobblers apart, didn't you? Still, that's pretty, still pretty good. Am I gonna remember the fact that you're like the 5th unit, though? Yeah, but anyway, let us see. Here we are going to... I believe I said sack it so that we could keep moving. I'd love to... I mean, we could also raise it, but then we'd have to wait 3 turns, and I don't want to do that. So, yeah, we will sack it. Then we will see about our movement range and how much of it is restored. You cannot... aha, you can do this. Alright, that worked out. So we're going to march stance this way. And then we'll have the Crimson Fiends, before they're destroyed, attack the Great Desert of Araby camp. Like so. Oh, I should have checked if the little fellas could have reinforced. Ah, whatever. Alright, down goes the camp, and it kills half of our bloodletters, but I'm hardly surprised. And we will take, I think, the money, because the amount of skulls is... hello, Bloodwake Berserkers! Alright, we can temporarily put them into an army. Just to have them on field and, you know, watch them, you know, murderize things as they do. You will go here. You are no longer needed, but I would like you to... before you... oh, wait, actually, you'll die of attrition in... actually got 3 turns. I wonder if we could get to... if we could get to this mysterious island. 1, 2... I think you'll die of attrition just before you do, but we'll see. Oh, there's Malagor. I thought his army had died, but apparently not. Nope. Fair enough. One of you needs to occupy this territory. Oh, you can't reach it? Oh, my bad. Can you reach it? You can reach it, though. Alright, so we're good. I was very concerned there for a moment. And we'll use up the skulls to occupy this. Great Desert of Araby complete, and this place will most likely have to keep it in bonus control for a while. You can only build a secluded oasis. But I believe the Infernal Citadel has better defenses than the Dimensional Rift by virtue of the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, which can hold the line a little bit longer. Although this has a Skull Cannon, which is pretty darn nasty. This has Blood Shrine, Cultist, and some Spawn. I'm still inclined to go Infernal Citadel, I think. Not that it matters over much, A, and B, we'll have to repair it and wait until we can build it anyway. And you know what, yeah, don't build the other thing until... just in case it gets deleted. Alright, that worked out reasonably well. I believe we built all the other buildings, unless I'm mistaken, other than Al Haik, which I don't want to invest into, so we're good. Diplomacy, screw diplomacy. Skull Throne, we are good, so I believe we're ending another turn, yes? And then looping around this way to see where Luther Harkin lands. 18% colonization, 18% colonization. Getting there. Skip, 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 skip. Oh, commandment. Wait. Where's the commandment? Oh, here. Start with control. We'll wait until it stabilizes and then switch to growth as we've done in the other territories here and here. How are the orcs feeling about us? Not super happy, but that hardly matters. They'll be even more unhappy once we start killing these guys. Oh, there's dwarfs out here. I mean, we're pretty much attacking nearly everything near us. Frankly, most of the factions that we'll want to ally with are far enough away so as to not bother us. Malagor, I guess, was the only exception, but he's in the Marshes of Madness, and we don't really care for the Marshes of Madness anyway, so I'm happy. Alright, let's see if Luther Harkin shows up or whether he gives up. Frankly, we'll send somebody to grab a few skulls from Lustria as well. It's just that we, you know, we can't be everywhere at once, and we need to take care of Khemri before they attack us, plus they're closer. Alright, and there he is. Yeah, so there's not much we can do about this right now, in that he will most likely be able to attack one of these places. It's a waste of skulls, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Alright, we do have the hero capacity, and Lashik has been drawn to destruction. Now, you will be deleted. I assume that this can be kept. Then we will get, let's see, we have a Menace, we have a Skull Belt. Eh, it's pretty nice. Battlemaster. Ooh, Battlemaster. You have a bolstered command. And hero XP gain. Or that's not bad either. Oh man, there's some good stuff here. I think I'll say Menace to start. Frankly, all of these are decent. With the possible exception of the Discouraged one in certain armies, but in other armies this would be great. Yeah. Alright, Menace. Frankly, I'm not sure that Khorne would want to discourage enemies from fighting, you know what I mean? If anything, I see Khornates hyping you up in order to try to get you to attack them more. But anyway, plus 50% from raiding. That's pretty nice. Character XP gain is always very good to have. What do we want to go for next? Army ability uses +1 for Summon from Beyond, and that is decent. Income from sacking settlements, plus 25%. Income from all buildings. Ooh, our our 40 income will become... okay, we don't care about this. A recruitment cost reduction for all units is nice, though, and upkeep reduction -8 is fantastic. In fact, it makes me inclined to go around that way, but only after we grab war boons. I want the recruitment cost reduction for infantry units, since as soon as this territory constructs our first military structures, we'll be getting some infantry up and running. And just to check, okay, so this can go into minor settlements, so we could... I was about to say we could put it in inaugural Migdal, but this is a dimensional breach, and frankly, we'll build this thing here, so that we can have access to some of the demonic units. And just some, mind you, this one is probably not worth building in, since it can't be upgraded. Not enough space to build everything right now. Also, does the iron reduce Wrathmonger and stuff? Yes, it does. Skull Reapers, Wrathmongers, Agorbi's Chariots. Huh. I was not expecting that, but I'm pleasantly surprised by it. I mean, they do have Mortal Riders, so it does make sense. Keep an eye on that. Blood-Drenched, Seeker of Battle. Another Khorne Demon unit reduction. I believe we want you on field as well. Okay, so all of you are going to follow Skarbrand, and in fact, I would like all of you to go into your channeling stances. So Winds of Magic, channel. He can't reach us here anyway, so frankly, it doesn't matter. I was about to say we should just make sure that they don't die, but yeah, do this, and do... Get out. And do this. There we go. All of you channel. Oh, they're like little ducklings following Skarby around, and adorable. And then like this. Alright, pretty happy with that. And then there's one too many here. Actually, technically there are two too many, but one Tavi will most likely actually... Rager will split off soon. In fact, we could give him the Bloodwake Berserkers and thereby allow him to get an army up and running significantly quicker. Grab Meditation for Carnage just for the additional coordinate corruption while we're here. Yeah, I guess here we'll maybe want to use a few Chaos Knights together with the various units of Wrathmongers and Skull Reapers. Seems like the way to do it, because I don't think that these guys have any additional reductions as a possibility. At least not that I've seen so far. Alright, I wanted to get the Seeker of Battle up and running. But not at Wizard Callus Palace, so let's get you... I mean, we can recruit you when we get a little bit closer. Alright, the rest of that is good. The buildings are not builded. Okay, let's buildify. Galbaraz, we will want to max you out. I do wish a Dimensional Rift wasn't so expensive, but it is what it is. A Land of Assassins, Lashik, you are decently likely to get attacked, so I'm gonna ignore you. Al-Haik we're not investing in because of the presence of Khemri. Atalan Mountains, we can start upgrading the Cultist Camp Iron. Actually, no, I lied. We will start by upgrading the growth structure. Like so. Oh wow, even with +8 growth, the vampiric corruption is kind of screwing us here. Huh. Vulture Mountain might rebel. You know what? Maybe we then switch it to a massive increase to Khornate corruption. And let it rebel. We will be there with Skarbrand fairly shortly. Alright, fine. Spill blood. I want to check what the others are looking like. You are not corrupted, and then you are not corrupted either, or not by the enemy anyway. Anyway, alright, let's see. Skull Throne. We have 2 more turns until the post-battle loot is available.
The Pirate King is no
And you
pawn.
are currently at war with Kyle, Sea Patrol, and United Maritime Patrol. Yeah, that's fair enough. And just want to check who else is available here. Any Norskins? That's okay. No, not really. And aha! Whoa. I forgot about this. Look at that! Ha! Johnny the Starved. We found ourselves a little army for our blood host, and they're both half-stacks, so it's evened out. We may not have found islands, but we found something else to do. I love it. Go.
Slaughter, maim, slay, eviscerate, glory.
Alrighty, that's a big voice out of such a little fella. Here we go. We should have a pretty darn fun fight here, relatively small by virtue of the numbers, but we are outnumbered, and we do have to approach this relatively carefully. The enemy admiral is also an admiral of death, as in a spirit leech spammer, so we're going to keep the Herald of Khorne back, at least for now, until we close the distance and do some damage. Losing the Lord would probably destroy us here. Anyway, the battle will start with us moving in the tree line with 2 of our bloodletters while we charge on in with our fleshhounds. They will probably die or at the very least take severe damage here, but their purpose is to distract the enemy range units while we close with some bloodletters and some furies. Of course, the furies will also themselves take a little bit of damage, but it will definitely be worth the time to engage all of these range units, which is where the enemy's strength lies. I suppose we could have tried to approach the entire enemy army under the canopy, but it looks like it wasn't needed. Anyway. Here the bloodletters will engage some of the zombie pirate gunnery mobs in this pretty little, I don't know, flower, not field, I don't know, under the trees. It's all idyllic or picturesque, and there's horrible monstrosities fighting each other. That's what I like to see. Anyway, the bounce power is in fact in the enemy's favor, and by the looks of it, some of our units are starting to take severe damage. One of the Furies is melting away, and the Fleshhounds are so severely beat up that we're going to have to back them off. One of the Bloodletters here we have effectively sacrificed by sending them to distract and annoy the enemy animated hulks and keep them out of the main line, essentially, of fighting, so that they cannot leverage their splash damage and kill more of our units. Our Blood Reaper has now arrived, or our Herald of Khorne rather, to go after the enemy lord, and even though the enemy lord's a level 5 and we're level 1, we should have no trouble at defeating him, because the herald is obviously going to be a stronger melee fighter. And besides, we have 4 units of regular bloodletters, we have 1 unit of exalted bloodletters, and should the enemy lord, the fleet admiral or the fleet captain, be surrounded by them, they'll tear them to shreds with their very high weapon strength and armor-piercing damage. Not that by the looks... Oh, look at the blood... Oh, wow, who sent you flying? Yeah, the enemy lord is down to about 40% of their HP, and though the bounce power remains in the enemy's favor, only by about 5% so far. Alright, to this point. The animated hulks have now moved towards the next unit of bloodletters, which will hopefully similarly keep them busy. And by the looks of it, the enemy lord is done. The enemy captain is about to be done as well, now surrounded by those exalted bloodletters, with the herald moving in to cast them down. Like so, there we go. Looks like the lord gets the kill, and now only 1 unit of gunnery mobs as well as those animated hulks remain, soon to be surrounded from every direction and torn apart. And this army will take enough damage, I think, to not be viable anymore for any other fights, but they got themselves an actual fight, or against an actual army, rather than just using themselves up on islands, so I'm pretty darn happy with the result. Alright, I was really expecting the battle to end when I said that, but anyway, a heroic victory for the Fear Crushers. Alright, beautiful, and a battle, I'd say, is even better than an island, so I'm pretty happy with this. Lost one unit of Furies and 1 unit of Bloodletters, which was reforged, and by the looks of it, yeah, with the enemy outnumbering us a little bit, kinda makes sense. We took a little bit of damage from the enemy Lord and Hero due to spell casting, but that is also unsurprising. Here we will take, I think, the Skulls. And we'll chase these guys down and see if we can't pick up finally an island, maybe. Oh, these guys will get killed by the... they won't, never mind. Alright, well done, little blood host. You did well. We will here slightly recover you. Mostly for the additional, well, for the additional little bit of survival, but also for the time that it will also take to travel. Meaning we will eventually start suffering attrition. You know what, I think that other one won't be able to reach this place, so let's just go towards it with you, Fear Crushers. The only reason I haven't just deleted this one is because it is counting as an extra little bit of strength for our faction. Not much, mind you, but every little bit counts. Because it's delaying anybody else attacking us right now. While we're dealing with these guys.
You must
-9, eh? We'll see how he feels about all this after we kill him off. Well, as in his main stack. Lashik will ignore. Vulture Mountain will ignore. Martek we're free to not ignore, though, and keep building up the iron therein. Granted, let's see, it costs still expensive, but whatever. Yeah, we'll basically need control buildings in all of these yellow territories, or just defensive structures in the capitals. They can always farm additional skulls by having permanent rebellions, kind of like the way we used to play Skaven back in the day. It just isn't really necessary anymore. Well, on occasion. Anyway, Wizard Calf's Spouse, what do you have? Oh yeah, you do have the control building, and we still have that massive amount of corruption, and we need to coordinate the place, so until we do, or are able to, can't do anything about that. Alright, Unholy Manifestations, we are nearly to this one. I'd love the additional character XP gain. Man, this would have been amazing during that long rampage. Hopefully, during our second rampage, we'll be able to make use of that, maybe somewhere here. Just need to coordinate more areas. Anyway, let's skip, and then the turn. Nobody can recruit, right? At the very least, I don't think so. Can anybody increase movement range here? I don't think so either. Alright, I think we're free to end the turn. Let's see where Luther Harkin goes. Whether he will sack or occupy. Occupying would actually be better for us just by virtue of the fact that it would take him a longer to get away from us. Yes, he will attack the place. We don't have breaches in the walls. We wouldn't be able to win. We could, in theory, do a little bit of damage to his army, and just by virtue of the towers firing upon them. You know, maybe we do this as a non-auto resolve, just a max speed fight. I guess depending on where he attacks, but yeah, just let the towers do a teensy bit of work. Obviously, there will be losses here, but at the same time, couldn't hurt to damage his army a little bit. In fact, destroying it would actually not be good for us, because we would want Luther Harkin's defeat trait on Skarby. Isn't it 30% spell resistance on the Lord, unless I'm mistaken? Granted, I could be mistaken, but we'll see. Ha! Well, aren't you clever? The AI will move to attack here, where there are no towers. Clever, clever. Annoyingly so. It is what it is. You guys set yourselves up here. They're gonna go through the gate no matter what we do. You dogs can just sit out here and get ready to block off the gate. What do we have on this side? Unit of Bloodletters. I would like you to go, I guess here. Can't grab this tower either, even though it would be able to fire upon the enemy. Wait, where's it the... Can't, no, it's not, okay, whatever. We have one tower that we can build. That one might be able to fire upon the enemy. If our units don't melt away, we could probably annoy enemies here as well. Alright, let's do this. Let's go for shooting tower rather than support tower. Then, the most critical thing is where we deploy this little fella. I'm going to say... they don't want you being fired upon immediately. These guys are more limited. You know what? Go here. And that's what we'll do. Then, I would like 2 units of dogs. Where is the enemy mortar? Alright, there's right here. So, you two, go out here as well. And you two, just stay all the way back here. Alright, I think that's about it. Alright, let's start the battle. Let's move you out. We'll pretty much ignore everything else and speed it up to max. And what I would like to do here is move these skull cannons to where they can fire upon a few at the enemy range. Oh, you guys are going to annoy our dogs, ain't you? Oh, that's not great. Meaning, we may want to sally out rather than lose them to range fire in this manner. Alright, fine. Charge through. No choice. You'll die otherwise. I mean, you're gonna die anyway, but... oh, the hill's blocking you from shooting. And these guys are actually protecting the mortar. Good for them. Alright, and back to max speed. Can you fire upon something? Please? Nope. Maybe down there? Hey, you actually landed a shot. There you go. And you guys charge on through this. You maybe go into melee. Actually, it's a bad idea. You're gonna get killed like this. Well, move this way and try to fire upon the enemy. The hills are interfering with the whole idea here. All right, go for the mortar. You're just gonna get destroyed. Oh well. Yeah, with the hills positioned the way they are, we couldn't make a good use of that, but it's okay. All right, you back here. In range of the tower, but we can't do anything because we have no anti-air. How are we on this side? Yeah, one of these units got damaged. Now we go up here and have the bloodletters maybe cut down a few of those zombie-powered gunnery mobs. Better than nothing. And then you're just gonna have to sit here while these guys fire at you because there's nothing you can do. Alright, well, these towers are still firing, and I thought I told you to fire at the mortar. I think they are firing at the mortar, but the hill is also preventing any hits from... yeah. Plus the poor accuracy. This was the main thing that I wanted gone. Alright, our lord has been killed up by the flyers, and a few more seconds. And, okay, why aren't you melting? I mean, you are melting, but I guess you're still firing. Ooh, come on, get a few more shots off. Damage that mortar. Frankly, it'll most likely revive anyway. Actually, I'm not entirely sure, but it's not reviving, but being extremely severely damaged might actually be a good thing. The AI's luck would probably mean that it gets revived, but we'll see. If they sack it and it doesn't get revived, it'll remain at like 10% or so of its HP, which means it'll either die to attrition or be severely damaged by it. Guess we're about to find out. Oh, it didn't even revive. Now are you gonna occupy it? Where'd he go? What? Why would you go this way? Okay, well he's screwed. Well, that's a free defeat trait for us. And there's another army out there. Frankly, sacking this place is not to your benefit. We're at -6 now. I thought I switched to Coronation. That's surprising. Pleasantly so, though. Settlement sacked. Yeah, not for long. Land of Assassins, draining... oh, you have got to be kidding me. Now we have -20 growth. Wow, we are getting bad luck. Dangerous winds plus draining winds. Terrible. Absolutely terrible, but what can you do? Skarby, you're in range of this little fella. And frankly, he's not even worth fighting, is he? But it's a nice defeat trait, so... let's move everybody in. Wait, who is critical to leech here? You are gonna take the bloodletters from Skarby, so you will need to leech. I would also like... I guess a Rager, because he's gonna be the commander of the newest army as soon as possible. Alright, you three. Then we'll have you kill this. And auto-resolve it, and I presume successfully. Yeah. There's basically nothing left in this little army. Alright. Let's see if I'm correct about the... decent little bit of cash. Correct about the... 1,400 money or 576 skulls. We can get 2 settlements back at this rate, which is not so bad. Upkeep production minus 10 for 4 turns. We have still 30 more turns of the Devour Captives movement. I'm gonna say offers tribute for the upkeep production. Alright, mission successful, Harbinger, good, and another Coordinate Mutant, always nice. Oh, 25, okay, I thought it was 30, but close enough. Lovely. Now,
What's your word?
you're willing to peace out, so that we don't have to continue moving this way, minus the issue of the Wizard Caliph's Palace. Skarbrand, sit here, raid our own territory so that this place rebels. In the same breath, will this place rebel? It might.
Blood speaker.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so you go this way, right outside Kofor. You have 1 turn left. Yeah, so will you die next turn, or will you not die next turn? I'm not sure. I guess we could risk it. You can't kill this, unfortunately. But I'm gonna say, yeah, we'll peace out with you. I know it doesn't feel cornate, but I feel like it's gonna be a waste to go after the one army that they have left, rather than turning and going after Camarilla, wherein they have a million billion armies. Plus, we have to ferry all these guys over here, where they will be given new troops. So, we'll peace out with you for now. They'll frankly probably attack us again, but by the time they do, we'll have an army that we can send to Lustria. It makes more sense to me. And Skarby, just stay here, and wait, actually, can we just rather use one of you to raid this territory, and then have Skarby heal up more? I was hoping that this place would rebel faster as well. Ooh, hello, we can build the cultist camp here. I guess if we recruit heroes, we will want to recruit them there. Not for money generation, just in person. Oh, wait, I know why Skarby was out here, because these guys are slightly out of range. So just move you here, and move you here, just stay in range. And then you guys are... well, you're full of mana, but if we switch you out... oh, you're actually okay. Is this... ah, we have Winds of Magic Tempestuous here. Good. Alright, so you guys just stay here. Stay in the Tempestuous area. And this way you won't lose your mana. What about to this place? Winds of Magic are blowing. Guess Skarbrand will lose 1 per turn, which is not so bad. Alright, that looks like an end turn to me, with the sole exception of Gorkraze the Doom. I gotta say, I like it. It's, what more do you want from Khorne? Gorkraze the Doom. Yeah, you can... I don't know why I find that name funny, but I do. Yeah, so this presumably is not something we need to grab, so go this way, see if there's any other islands out here. That's something you can take it. And if you can't, then you can just loop back around. There's gotta be an island here somewhere. Ah, there's one right there. Ah, we can't reach it. Watch this guy take it next turn, I swear. Alright, I believe we're good other than building. We got a lot of stuff at Kofor. Oh, I guess we can upgrade the Kofor docks if nothing else. You will need to go for, I guess, growth, because control isn't necessary here, at least not now. Great Desert of Air we will ignore because it's expensive. Ah, Death Gorge is now completed. So we did manage to keep the War Crucible. Great for growth. This is tier 4, unfortunately, so no Blood Shield as yet, but we can grab the Skull Harvester, which will go all the way to the Jugger Plant and get us Gorby's Chariots. Beautiful. I want those on field ASAP. Then I wanted Marauders and access to Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Oh, and I also wanted at the very least some Skull Reapers. This will only give us 2 capacity, so in theory what we could do is build 2 Skull Reapers and then delete the building and then replace it with the other building, in theory. Or we could just delete the War Crucible out of this territory, granted at the cost of growth, but build the other military structure there, which I think is probably the way to go. Alright, so we'll do this. Brass Fortifications here. We'll go for the Dimensional Rift here, and then, sadly, about the growth, but it is what it is, we will delete the War Crucible out of this place. In theory, it would have inevitably always have been deleted. This place can now be upgraded to a Soul Keep. And I believe we're good, other than this place, which we're not upgrading right now. Alright, skip. And Imminent Rebellion, that's here in Wizard Caliph's Palace. Perfect. End turn. I don't think I've forgotten anything, but if I did, it's too late. And, oh, wow, I did not see what the time was. Yeah, we're kind of out of time, but time flies when you're having fun and all that. I guess we'll just take out this rebellion, and then, Queeky. No, still wants that non-aggression pact. I still feel like he'll eventually declare war on us, but frankly, I'm we're probably going to attack him. Plus, Queek has an absolutely fantastic defeat trait in SFO, which includes, I believe, a -5 upkeep reduction. And he's worth taking. I'm actually a little bit sad that Volkmar is dead because he has an amazing defeat trait as well. And buffs to entire infantry armies, but I guess we can't have that here. Ready for duty, Eddie. I love these names. There we go. Anyway, I think, folks, with that, like I said, we're out of time, and I'm going to call this episode here. This little jerkface did, in fact, steal that island that you spent so long going after. You, however, can grab this before you disappear. Like so, and shiny boots and fresh recruits, free terrifying mask of V. Press gangs. I was actually hoping for money. A terrifying mask of V. You'll be dead next turn, so rather than do that, we will disband you. This is your death. You choose it. There you go. Alright, anyway, like I said, with that, we're out of time. I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, we will quickly grab this solid rebellion, and then move to Vulture Mountain, do the same thing here, tear down the rebellion, and then use that to move towards Hemry, start our war against them while we complete the requisite structures necessary to build new troops, including Skull Reapers and Chaos Chariots, or Gorby's Chariots, and Marauders and Chaos Warriors, and start diversifying our forces. In theory, we can't afford them. In practice, we get money out of fighting, so the armies should be self-sustaining, and especially if we raise a bunch of territories of Khemri in order to fund our war effort. So stay tuned for all that. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm. Oh, especially to Threshold if you're into the double episode thing. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.